everyone. Today we have come up with yet another topic that matters, which is again very catchy and very intriguing for us. And I'm sure it is going to be that for you as well. So it is Pirates of the Conversation.
Yes. So let's clarify. It's not Pirates of Caribbean. This time it's Pirates of Conversation. And we're trying to address the topic this month, conversations from all the aspects. So it's a new perspective on it. And this is where we are trying to tell you what are those three pirates that you can identify. Or you could be one of them. We don't know. But these are the three specific characters which can lead any conversation. These are the indicators of not having a good conversation. So how about Archana? Why don't you share the first pirate that comes to your mind when you think about bad conversations?
So the first one that I can always think about, and I always meet them, at times I could also be one of them, could be attention seekers. And these are the people who want to be there in the conversation all the time. They want all the spotlight on them, and they really want that everything that they say or everything that they do, they are the center of attraction.
Yeah.
I have been one of that long ago, but now I have realized that how harmful or how damaging it could be to be in a conversation where you are one of them or you have people in the same scenario, right?
Yeah, and so the spotlight has to be on them in all the conversations, and the world revolves around them. So to give you an example, there are a lot of times I have a lot of such friends, family, wherein you bring up a small instance about them, even as simple as telling them about your last food experience that you've had, that, I had this great meal this place. And they will say, that's not so great. I'll tell you something that I had even a greater experience. Why don't you go and eat there? So, you feel so flat and so like what did I do? Like, I'm not worthy enough. So I think this is a very simple and very regular example. But generally, I think when you're in a conversation, which could be a professional conversation, if your focus is to bring the entire spotlight on you and it's all about you yourself, then it will not be a conversation. I think it'll end up being a monologue and everybody else would lose the interest in you. But while you're talking about the spotlight people, the attention seekers, the other pirate that comes to my mind would definitely rob me of a healthy conversation are people who are fake listeners. So we've addressed it so many times that for any conversation or any talk to or any communication, listening is a key, right? But sometimes what happens is we try and we become these listeners who we're just pretending to be good listeners. But let me tell you, Archana, and we all know that you can easily figure out these people. Now, some of the signs of these fake listeners, and tell me if you think of something, but I would say people who are, when you're trying to have a conversation, they don't make an eye contact. Their eyes are always around, they're on phone and you can easily figure it out. They might be in rush to step out of that room or, they will ask too many interrupting questions. They will interrupt you or... I think these are some of the signs of those fake listeners, and that's, for me, it's definitely a no-go in a conversation. I will definitely come out. I wouldn't want to, I won't be encouraged or motivated to have or tell or share too much with that person.
And yes, they're always into that fidgety forum, they're always into that frame where they're distracted with many other things. However, they'll just pop up with something which is not even going to be relevant according to the conversation that is going through. So it becomes very distracting, and it also becomes very, very stressful to the part of the person who's having a conversation on something. So I think that can absolutely take the conversation to a different level. So yes, beware of fake conversationalists. So the final and the third one that comes to my mind are the people who are energy drainers. In conversations, when you have too much of energy, whether positive, whether negative, it drains the conversation because there's no outcome. Because again, as to how we've carried the things forward, there could be those people who are taking the conversation haywire, right?
Yeah. So again, talking about me, energy drainers, the signs that I find, specific people who could fall in this category are people who would always bring every story, every conversation, and they will take it to a negative side of it, like you said. We spoke about people who are very high energy. I think even that can be an energy drainer for somebody who's very calm and peaceful. So I think for a healthy conversation to be, you've got to balance that energy level. Right. So any high energy, any person who's very negative could be a deep energy drainer for me. Also, there are people, there's this myth that you've got to have humor in a conversation. And I find sometimes I've been in conversations where there will be these random jokes that come up. You're having a serious conversation, suddenly there'll be this joke that pops up, which has no relevance to the ongoing talk. I think beware of such energy drainers. How about you? Have you had any such experience?
Many such experiences, and I have seen people getting into that frame of, putting all the energy that they have on that particular conversation that is happening. Maybe relevant or not relevant doesn't matter to them. But the point is that they have to say it, and they have to make the conversation just come on them. Right? So it becomes very distracting again. And how we have spoken about conversations many, many times, it is all about having an end result, which is something fruitful. There has to be something happening in a conversation. You should be enjoying the conversation, having easy breezy, so everybody enjoys it. True. However, when we talk about these three aspects of people, these three pirates that we have just spoken about, it gets on a different roller coaster ride.
Agreed. So I guess these are the three indicators, three big buckets that you could remind yourselves of. And remember, like you said, Archana, any conversation that is happening between however number of people, everyone should leave. Maybe we didn't cover everything in that conversation, but everybody should leave on a positive note, thinking that it had a good use of their time and they met some interesting people and they want to come back and have another conversation with you. So let's not be the attention seekers, let's not be the fake listeners, and let's definitely not be the energy drainers. I think let's just be people who will share, but share keeping in mind what is relevant to the context.
Absolutely. So mutual respect being one of the very important criteria of any conversation. I think let's keep that in mind and let's enjoy our conversations how we do always. We hope that this video helps and you get something out of it and understand how conversations can be much more fruitful by avoiding or not being a part of these three pirates. And with that note, we'll see you next week with yet another topic that matters. Until then, bye.
Bye.